What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here. Today, we're going to be going over some in-town riding, and we got to figure out how to navigate this traffic. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Right here, we have a nice little windshield with a lot of bugs on it. Clean it. Looking off to the right, there's that side of the vehicle that we talk about all the time. So dirt fishing, got to be paying attention to that side of the vehicle. So let's go ahead and go to the very beginning. And we're riding around here. We have a double yellow, so let's kind of take a look. Let's orient ourselves to the situation here. That's typically what we need to be doing. And we're going to take a look to the right. You know, cool, there's some stuff over there. Not a big deal, but already you see the little turtle head poking out. And we have that side of the vehicle. That is the pattern that's going to indicate that there's going to possibly be a vehicle coming around. Now, that vehicle, hopefully they're looking left, but who knows? They might be looking right. Don't see us. But we need to be paying attention to what's in front. And this is when we start to go into orange stage. We see that we're covering the brakes. We're rolling off the throttle, making sure that we're prepped and ready and planning our ride. So position ourselves for safety. We're locating the hazardous situation. We're assessing if this is a relevant threat. And if it becomes an active threat, let's go ahead and get into red stage. Do a swerve, do emergency progressive braking, whatever it is that we need to do, and get ourselves out of this situation. So we're going to come up to here. They're not stopping. That's not good. Grab yourself a cardo. They're not stopping. And so now we look forward. So we weren't really paying attention to what was in front of us. And that's one of the big problems that we see here. Our perception is delayed because our vision, our focal vision is somewhere else. Not good. So we want to be making sure our focal vision's up in front. And then what you can do is you can look at your mirrors. So your focal vision goes down to your mirrors. When I say focal vision, I keep saying that, is that when you stare at something, it's about like a 3 degrees of actual like clarity, pure vision. So stare at me right now. Stare at me. Now try to look at the rest of the screen. Just keep staring at me. You notice everything's kind of blurred? Well, that's your peripheral. So you really only have a little itty bitty focal vision. And when we're out riding, we tend to use our focal vision to just go look for everything. That's going to really mess with your brain. A lot of inputs, a lot of cognitive overload going on. So what I like to do is when I'm riding, I keep my focal vision kind of moving between what's in front of me, mirror, side, front of me, my speed, mirror, side. And then when I'm looking forward, for the most part, I'm allowing my peripheral vision to capture the rest. So if my peripheral vision sees there's a little bit of, I don't know, some darkness on the ground in front of me, I do a quick little check with my focal vision. Oh, it's nothing. And I go right back up. And then I start doing my little rotation. So we are trying to look for patterns. So when we see over here where our focal vision is kind of everywhere, the goal is to look for the pattern in our peripheral. So get that buried into your mind. Get it really ingrained that if you see the side of the vehicle in your peripheral, let it grab your attention. Use your focal vision. And then you need to assess if it's a relevant threat. But if we're coming up to an intersection, we should already be kind of on high alert orange stage because we located a hazardous situation. Focal vision determines if it's a relevant threat. No, it's not. Cool. If it is, now we are using our focal vision to find our escape routes. We're using our focal vision. Hey, determine is our space cushion good enough for total stopping distance? We start to use our vision in different ways. So right here, side of the vehicle, not a good thing. We started doing the brakes, started doing the little jostling thing. We do have, there we go, have an escape path right here. Go ahead and get ourselves out of here. Nice little swerve, got himself out, very good. Good job on the red stage maneuver. But if you notice, we need to get back into our lane. We have a vehicle coming up, and it's a pretty big vehicle. So swerve back into your lane, get yourself out of there. Perfect. Did a great job. The main thing here is keeping our vision looking forward, not off to the side. Okay? Forward, not off to the side. And if we are going to go to the side, do it real quick. Okay? Get that pattern stuck in your head, side of the vehicle. All right, so we're coming up into here. We have a nice little rubber ducky, but this is a lot of intersections. We're coming up through here, so we should be in orange stage. There's a lot of stuff going on. We have side of the vehicle there, side of the vehicle there, a bunch of sides of the vehicles. It's a lot. So what I'm doing here is keeping a nice, smooth, maintained speed, nothing too crazy. My fingers are covering the front brakes. My foot is covering the rear brake. It's not pushing it. It's just kind of almost on top of it, and I'm getting ready to pull in the clutch to downshift if I need to. Also looking for escape routes. It's a lot of information. So as a beginner rider, this is why we practice in a parking lot with the cone patterns up ahead. You can do nice little movements with the body, and you can also get the feel for your motorcycle. So you're not having to really think about it when you're in an emergency. You're already kind of married to the motorcycle, okay? So we're coming up to here. Bunch of sides of the vehicles. You see the truck? You see the car? We had a line of sight issue just for a quick second here. Line of sight issue. So we can't really see the vehicle right here. So line of sight, can't really tell. All I could see is that truck with the camper van or the camper on the top. And there it is. So right here, we're going to intersect with them. So we're going to perceive that there's an issue. So when I say cover your front brakes, he wants to cover his horn. So there's the horn, going to let them know. Okay, not a big deal. Not a big deal. Where are we going? Oh, we have an oncoming car. So this is that oncoming thing in a common situation where we need to be like, don't really like this either. Lots of crazy traffic here. Stay in orange stage. Some countries, you just got to stay in orange stage. At least in the United States with the traffic laws and everything, you're pretty much 80% yellow stage, which is really good. So if you don't know what we're talking about here, yellow stage is relaxed, zoned in. White stage, completely zoned out. But orange stage, like there's a threat. It seems like there's a threat here at all points of time. So we did a nice little swerve. Okay. Looking off to the right. Now we're in the wrong lane too. Look forward. Look forward. Now we're way over here to the left. So now we got to swerve all the way to the right. And now we're in a bad spot. You see what I mean? So look forward, swerve out of the way, swerve back. Get yourself in a better position for safety. This is not a good plan. Terrible planning method for this person. Yeah, now you got to say thank you. So were you the jerk in this one? Do you think the person in this vehicle, the Chevy, was like, hey, jerkwad? How come you guys haven't got a quad lock case yet? This right here is mine. I got the Samsung Galaxy 20 Plus. They have a bunch of different models for their phone case. Got the handlebar mount and the vibration dampener. Less than $100. And you get 10% off if you use the link in the description. So grab yourself a quad lock and support our sponsor. Let's get right back into it. What do you think is going to be a hazard? All right, let's jump right back in. Green light doesn't always mean go. Moving on, right? Ooh, I would not be accelerating super hard there. So let's go back just a little bit more. Let's go to the very beginning of this. So we are coming up to an intersection, or at least we are in an intersection. It's going to turn green for us. Okay, look at all the traffic. Traffic's still moving. There's people in our path of travel. Sides of the vehicles all over the place. We're in orange stage anyways because it was raining. So even on the straightaway, I'm going to be in orange stage. Whenever it's raining, I'm just in orange stage. Okay, so I want to make sure I don't crash because you can have loss of traction. There could be oil that the surfactant, the water is going to lift up the oil the first 30 minutes of rain and start to slide off the side. So you got to be very careful when it comes to that kind of stuff. Movement of road debris. You know, there could be sand like in the middle of the road and all of a sudden it's being shifted around, turns into mud, nice little silty. And so you got a lot of traction issues, hypothermia issues, possibly getting too cold, your hands start shaking, maybe your fingers start getting numb, so the reaction time to reach for things is getting pretty bad. Lots of different issues when it comes to rain. But here, definitely intersection, green light. Okay, cool. Let's just gun it. No, don't gun it. One, like I said, traction loss. Rear tire is going to spin, possibly fall over. Another thing is here's traffic. So we're going to go ahead and start going. Okay, you already see this person's moving, and you shouldn't just be going. Maybe creep out just a teeny tiny bit just to indicate that, hey, we're starting to move a little bit more. Stop taking up the spot. But at the end of the day, law of gross tonnage says that this person is going to win. So we don't want to run into them. And we got another one. So that was a line of sight issue. You can't see what's around this vehicle right here. So you want to make sure that you're not just going to gun it, hoping that there's no one there. You wait until this moment to see if you should go or not. And it looks like we shouldn't go. But we decided to go a little bit, maybe a little bit of impatience, maybe because of the rain. You know, there's a lot of different factors that can indicate impatience or a reason why we are. End of the day after work, just want to get home, have a shower beer, all those things. And we almost had a close call. That's really close right here. That's really close. We don't want to do that. Now, afterwards, you're like, you know, your adrenaline starts activated or gets activated. You're starting to get really pissed off. And you just now definitely want to go home. So accelerating pretty hard. Our tires are really good. Okay. Our tires are really good. They do have a lot of traction, but accelerating pretty hard right afterwards, not the best thing. You want to be smooth on the throttle, smooth on the braking. Give yourself extra time on the throttle, extra time on the braking, and all that distance that's involved with that. So make sure you check your tires before every ride. Just do a quick little walk around, see if there's any damage. Check the PSI, see if it's actually where it should be. It's not overinflated, underinflated, sidewall damage, dry rot, any of that stuff. And just keep double checking your tires, double checking the tread, because their tires can handle rain. It's just that once it starts to lose that tread, once it starts to be overinflated, maybe even underinflated, you might get a little more traction, but overinflated, no tread, sidewall damage, and now we got rain, we got paint, we have really hard accelerations, hard braking, hard turning. It's like all these different factors can come into play. You might be able to do fine when it's dry, sunny, not a big deal with a bald tire. Moment you add water, not good. So double check your tires, make sure you don't run into the intersection, and pay attention. All right, here we go. Riding into an intersection. Once again, we got to be paying attention. This person's going to intersect with us. And, okay. I wouldn't have, okay, so that's fine. Nice air horn, by the way. So typically your motorcycle will come with an electric horn. And there's it's a different frequency. I don't understand it. So somebody that understands, frequencies and everything when it comes to like penetration of, like the car and walls and all that stuff, write in the comments if you guys know what you're talking about. And so we're coming up to an intersection. We're going through it where we see that there's not a lot of people here. And we notice that we're starting to intersect with this vehicle. So if you've played any sport where you have to have hand-eye coordination and running and catching anything, it's kind of the same concept. You don't have to look at the ground while you're running and then all of a sudden look up and then catch it. You can look at the ball or whatever and you're running and you can get yourself in that position and then catch it with some practice. Here, it's kind of the same thing. We're trying not to catch the vehicle. The goal is to miss the vehicle, but it's the same thing about intersecting. So if we notice that we're starting to do this and about to intersect, then we need to modulate our speed just a little bit. I'd rather do it here. So I'd roll off the throttle just a little bit, allow that person to get in, versus me trying to fight for it, and then they stop, and then I go, because this is what happens. We're going to intersect. At this point, I'm already rolling off the throttle. I'm not too worried about this. I'm going to roll off the throttle, allow this person in. So the moment he honks the horn is the moment I'm ready to apply some brake pressure. Allow this person to go, and then I get right behind him. But at this point, it's like now we're both confused about what's going on. I'm stopping in the middle of the intersection. This person's stopping there. Somebody behind me paying attention? I hope so, because I'm going to get hit if not. You could also stall like he almost did, and then we're going to go ahead and get going. So the main goal here is to see where you're intersecting, modulate your speed ahead of time. Don't allow yourself to get too close. So if you modulate your speed, you can get right behind them, or modulate your speed and accelerate to get in front of them. I prefer to slow it down. Acceleration puts you in a worse spot in most situations where now you're going above the speed that you wanted to in the first place, and now everything in front of you is coming at you quicker. So I'd rather slow it down, get behind, and then once everything's kind of stabilized, then I'm going to go ahead and go. So guys, make sure you guys are paying attention when you're out riding in traffic as a motorcycle rider, even as a car driver. Write in the comments if you use these tools, the Smart Rider tips, and the Smart Rider principles while you're driving. Write in the comments. But yeah, I'll see you guys pretty soon.